guys, I hope you're well. So we've reached the final five of 2017. So I didn't intend for it to be like this, but these are literally like the top of my sort of list, really. Heartless came out in February, and I think personally, out of all of the records that have come out this year, it's probably the most sonically expansive. The record has got these really kind of melodious overtones, and it's really quite sad in a lot of places. But the kind of journey that you go with Pallbearer from the beginning of I Saw the End right up until Dancing in Madness is just, it's such an epic journey, and it moves through so many different soundscapes, I think, and it never really bores you as well. If you've not heard it this year, please make sure that you check this out because it's an absolute scorcher of a record. Now we come to the Nordic Giants that are enslaved with their album E. At first I wasn't really too sure what to expect, especially, you know, with the idea that Herbrand Larsson, the band's longtime keyboardist and clean vocal singer, had left. You know, because the clean vocals were a big part of Enslaved for me. But Hakon Vinje has done such an amazing job. And I think that the tours that Enslaved had done for their 25th anniversary and also working with Wardruna for Ivar has totally paid off. And instead what they've put out is they've not put out, you know, like In Times 2 and things like that. It's a totally new step for them, whilst all the while remaining incredibly prog and also black metal. But I feel that the black metal is almost kind of really subtle in this one, and there's so many different areas that they try and explore. You know, for example, Storm Sun with that. It's also, I think, the first time that Ivar's played lead, really, like on Sacred Horse when he plays the solo. In terms of Enslaved's discography, it's right up there. Sadly, an album that I've not seen in a lot of other people's lists, but I'm definitely going to include it in mine, is Darkest Hours, Godless Prophets and the Migrant Flora. This album is the heaviest thing you will hear this year. From start to finish, it is just old school, thrashing Darkest Hour, and I loved it. I think it's kind of the closest to what would sound like Mark of Judas, So Sedated, So Secure, mixed with Deliver Us. But it's got that Kurt Ballou, you know, like wood smash in the face production. You know, there's good guitar solos, but they're not overly kind of in place there. And I think that John Henry's vocals are like the nastiest I've ever heard them. Mike Schliebaum's rhythm guitar is so tight. Lone Star's solos, oh man, don't even get me started on them. And it's a real shame that I think it's kind of been overlooked in quite a lot of people's lists, but I feel like Darkest Hour have always been, you know, the underdog of the metalcore world, and I feel it's not fair because they're such a brilliant band. But Godless Prophets and the Migrant Flora is, front to back, absolute masterpiece. Honestly, I cannot congratulate you enough, Darkest Hour. This is a fucking brilliant record. This is where it gets really tough for me, is The Contortionist with Clairvoyant. I remember hearing Language and thinking, wow, this is a real departure from what they had had on Intrinsic. And even from Language to Clairvoyant, it's still a departure. You know, they're going into this kind of like far darker territory where, you know, the soundscapes are a lot more moody, and I feel that this one's a bit more, well, even more existential, if that's possible. This is the way that the Contortionists need to go, because this is perfect. It suits the band down to a T. And what I love the most about the record, which is what I think I said in my review, is that it's like an onion. You know, like every time you listen to it with headphones on, you can discover something new. I love it. And I just feel that the Contortionists are going where prog really needs to go, and this is where things get really exciting. And I think that Clairvoyant, and especially 2018, will see, you know, the band up their game in terms of touring and just seriously like give the competition a run for their money. And finally, this ended up being my album of the year. I didn't actually plan on it, but it really is the Black Dahlia Murders' Nightbringers. Nightbringers is comprehensively the best record they've ever written. It's half an hour of absolute fury. Not to mention Brandon Ellis is a newbie on guitar, and he kind of cements his place with the likes of Ryan Knight in like one album. And he wrote half of the record. I think that Nightbringers is kind of, it's almost like what they were like in Nocturnal, but even better, because they've gone through the likes of Deflorate, Ritual, Everblack, Abysmal. You know, they've got all this kind of idea of melody, but there's also different things that they're playing with, like The Lonely Deceased, where they bring that kind of acoustic section in, or Kings of the Night World with that that kind of like medieval waltz riff. Trevor's voice sounds fantastic. The work that Alan Cassidy has done on drums is incredible, because I felt like sometimes he was a bit more kind of blast driven, but now it's got that groove. And Max Lavelle's bass line, you know, that bit in Nightbringers where it's just like, it just sounds fantastic. And most importantly, they've cut off the fat. You know, I feel that Everblack and Abysmal were good albums, but they weren't this quality good. Like, Nightbringers is easily my favourite record of 2017. It just proves to me that they have perfected their formula. They know that they are the Black Dahlia Murder. I'm going to put some honourable mentions on my blog as well, because there's a lot of other really great albums which deserve to get their kind of piece said. Give me a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the next one.